Hello, everyone. Happy Monday to you all as we're back here live on the Fight Game Media Network YouTube channel to dive into all things WWE with a brand new episode of The Wrap for your listening and viewing pleasure as the road to WrestleMania continues through the Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm Keila Cash. Welcome to the show. And I bring to you, as always, my co captain, my right hand, the sometimes advocate for Win Sinclair from NXT. I bring to you back on the wrap, as always, not salty, not perky, because he is a little bit late tonight, a little bit behind schedule. He has deemed himself in Lakers colors, which I detest, but he looks fly nonetheless. I bring to you back on the wrap live in Technicolor, the one, the only, tardy Scott Young. Welcome back, tardiness.
Tardiness. As always, it's a pleasure to chop it up and talk all things WWE. Thank you for having me, Keila. And ready for the party. Sorry I'm tardy, but let's get it popping.
Let's get it popping like NBA Fight Night. If you read about the fights that happened in the NBA tonight, it was a brawl for all to copy every wrestling reference there was as we get ready to go into the All-Star break this week. All-Star weekend is this weekend. I have to wonder what NBC was thinking. Let's get the NBA the same year we are doing the Winter Olympics. Let's have NBA All-Star Saturday night happen at 5 o'clock p.m. Saturday afternoon, followed by the All-Star game Sunday evening at 5. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's first of all, it's clearly they don't care about the All-Star game. So why should I care about the All-Star game? Okay, like 5 o'clock. So that's 2 o'clock in LA. That's crazy. What? Nah. Might not even watch it. Might just watch I'm definitely not gonna be there for the opening tip. I might be there for the second half though.
Yeah, that's kind of me too. I will be doing other things on Sunday afternoon, early evening hours. I will have the game on mute. I will try my very best to be locked in for NBA Saturday night, the All-Star weekend, because I do enjoy that a lot. The 3-point contest, the dunk contest, not so much, but I do love the theatrics of that weekend, of course. But going up against the Olympics, that timing, that scheduling is maddening. So definite choices there. As I go through the chat right now, Fernando, what's good? Love to see you as always in the chat. We apologize for being a little bit late. Blame Tardy Scott for that in love. As always, charge his head, not his heart, for that. And then Jordan from Canada, thank you so much for the kind words. Shout out to Mel and Sam as they celebrated their 200th episode of Power Bombshells on Sunday. And thank you for the kind words about me having a great voice. Should I consider audiobooks, perhaps, or voice acting, maybe? Potentially one day soon. And he agrees with Scott that Willow is one of the most over women in wrestling, and she deserves the big belt eminently from AEW. I absolutely agree. And then Fernando notes we lose one AJ and gain another as AJ Lee returns to Monday Night Raw. And then we follow through with Bad Bunny was fire last night at the Super Bowl. And great to see Ricky Martin as well. Absolutely. As we go living La Vida Loca. And of course, Fernando goes Showtime. Showtime colors. He knows.
Listen, it's all love right here for the Lakers. You know what I mean? Purple and gold. Also, AR-15 is back. You know, we cocked and ready. Also, as far as Willow goes, what we doing with Chris Statlander? She ain't doing nothing. Let's go ahead and let Willow have it all. Just give her everything. It's that time of the year anyway. So just saying. But yeah, Willow's one of my favorite people in wrestling right now, especially with my queen not being around. Don't know what's going on with her. So Willow is one of my favorites going right now.
Yeah, I love Willow too. I want her to win that AEW Women's World Championship sometime this year, but it might be Tekla's time on Wednesday's Dynamite. We shall see. I love Tekla too. Love her swag, love her confidence, love her style of wrestling. I love Stat, but I think that it's more about Willow at the moment and Tekla. That could be a great battle heading into one of the big major pay per views from AEW this year. But I love me some Willow Nightingale. Have been since day one, since I saw her in AEW when she was working dark matches 5 years ago to where she is right now. Definitely can be a cornerstone in that women's division if they push her to that main title. And we have Fernando noting another malice at the Palace. No, it wasn't that bad. It was just amongst players wanting to get into fisticuffs as if it was rocket sockums, basically.
Yeah, and Jalen Duran was one of them, and this man, come on, dude, you got way too much going for you in that state to be doing stuff like that. Way too much going on for you. Like you could be, it's not, but this is the type of stuff that could mess up your potential Team USA bids and just all that. Like you got way too much going on for you to be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, my Hawks got into a brawl too. Like it was a rough night for real.
Nobody
Like
cares.
seriously. You know
Nobody
what?
cares.
Listen.
The Hawks.
Listen.
Nobody cares.
We need buzz in some shape, form, or fashion. And that's the best we can do, Scott. Don't deprive me of like a good news story, even though it's bad for us in terms of getting our butts kicked with ejections and whatnot. And then Jordan knows ball, NBA on NBC. I love the theme too. Listen, this is what I do. Every Tuesday night before I watch NXT, I got to watch the NBA on NBC introduction just to see the video, get my theme in, then flip over. And then if I have time on Peacock, I do the same thing. I want to see the intro video, see what the hype is about for the games, get my theme song in, hear that AI voice, and then change the channel. Like that's what I do. I love that theme. It's iconic, and I'm glad we have it back for the NBA on NBC for sure.
Yeah, it's one of the best things they got going for basketball because every time the Lakers play on NBC, we don't seem to do too well. But at least the theme song and the intro is usually pretty good.
Yes, you can never knock a good intro, and the music always hits. And Fernando says the All-Star game and the slam dunk contest is now trash. The game itself, you got to give the players incentive to care, and they haven't cared for a very long time. So you got to give them a reason. Will NBA versus the world incentivize them to do better this year? I don't know. Dunk contest, listen, has not been great since Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. And somebody got robbed a couple of times in that dunk contest. That might have been peak dunk for this century. So we'll see where it goes heading into this weekend for sure.
Yeah, when Matt McClung is like, yeah, I'm too big for the dunk contest, you got problems and it's not going anywhere. Okay.
3-time defending champion says, I am too big for this now.
That's fine. That's fair. But it's still no disrespect. Like he's a professional player. But when Matt McClung is too big for the dunk contest, you might need to change some things up.
Yeah, it's time. It's time. And if it flops this weekend, which is very possible, they have to reassess for sure. And they've been talking about that for a very long time, and they don't do it. And I guess they're hoping that somebody steps up and they can kind of make a name for themselves in this contest. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes Saturday afternoon, the early evening hours before we go back to the Olympics on NBC Saturday night. And Fernando got his bids on Tekla winning the AEW Women's World Championship this Wednesday on Dynamite. And then he tells me, really, I am doing the voicing for the next Zootopia sequel. I'm going to be
a Z-sis.
First of all, get out of my head because I thought about that. I thought about being the Zebro-sis to the Zebros. I did as a triplet. I did. Get out of my head. Get out of my head.
We've been doing this a long time, Keila. I know you. We've been doing this a long time now.
I know, 4 years. And then they want us to count have we hit 200 episodes yet? I think we're very close if we have not passed it yet. I don't know for sure.
If we have, we can just do we'll just do a celebration of if we're at 208, we'll just erase 8 episodes and act like it's 200.
Yes. We have to go through a lot of archival evidence to see where we are because we were on a paywall, then we went, free. So I don't know the exact count, but I do think we are very, very close to 200 episodes, minus the times we took off of holidays and personal reasons. I have to think we're very close.
Yeah.
What we do know for sure is that we've been
Well over
together for
100.
4 years, over 100, and we've been together for 4 years. And I told Sam and Mel on Sunday and Gigi too, like, I have tolerated you for 4 years because of your Ms. Love. Okay. And Gigi said, give Scott a chance. He has his faves that might rub you the wrong way. And I said, I will guide him. I will lead him into the promised land. And I've tried. I've tried.
Yeah, listen, when your favorites are goats, the Miz, he's on the Mount Rushmore of all Cleveland athletes of all time. Jinder Mahal,
Oh,
guys
God.
like that. It's, you know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is.
I'm gonna cut your mic off for that because anytime you bring up gender, Fernando's gonna get like round up and like inspired to say something really shady about that man. So you got him like stirring right now, thinking about what he's going to say. And then Jordan says, I wish wrestling would do something like the dunk contest. I would love to see like best drop kick or best frog splash contest. That would be cool. Like, if they could do something like for one of these big 4 or 5 PLE, something equivalent to like a Pro Bowl, an All-Star game. But I think that wrestling would do it far better than those two leagues. They would be creative.
Yeah, if anything, the dunk contest just might need to start going to like professional dunkers or, back in the day they used to have like athletes from other sports and they had their own little dunk contest during the celebrity part. So you could do something like that. But as far as best drop kick goes, that's going to my boy Randy Orton, even today.
Yeah, listen, young Randy, when
Oh,
Randy was not afraid to jump on the rope, do things,
mm,
that drop kick was so pretty. Pretty. That
Pete.
man, listen, before he said, listen, I'm gonna be a wrestler and I ain't gotta do all this high flying stuff. That man's drop kick, mwah, beautiful. Beautiful.
Shout out to Miles Bourne too, his little clone.
Alrighty. As Fernando now reminisces about Big E's retirement officially from WWE, Scott, do you have a
Mm.
favorite Big E match or moment?
Ooh, match. Well, my favorite moment is definitely him winning the WWE title. That's top tier. One of the moments that you almost didn't expect to happen because you just never know if they're going to pull the trigger or not. As far as match goes, that's a tough one. Um, it'll probably be his tag team match with Xavier Woods, Hell in a Cell versus the Usos.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. The championship win during that time in WWE, I will always love and appreciate. It was such a moment. And I love how like the socials went crazy for that moment when Big E beat Bobby for the championship. Oh, it was a great moment in WWE history. Wish it lasted longer than it did for sure. Best match, as you said, gotta go through the archives with him and Xavier being a tag team against the Usos, Hell in a Cell. It was a great match. I just love their chemistry the entire time they feuded. And I'm gonna miss Biggie. They kind of gave me false hope, thinking it's a possibility he could wrestle again, but his health is the top priority right now. But in wrestling, you never say never. So even though he says he's retired, never say never. Miracles do happen. We have seen it happen. So I'm going to be a realist, but at the same time, an optimist.
Yeah, if Edge came back 10 years later, there's, who knows what could happen 5, 10 years down the road. So like you said, we'll be a realist, wish him the best, but you always keep it in the back of your mind. Who knows what could happen?
Yes. And Jordan is co signing with you, saying that Miz has had longevity. Got to give him credit. And he married very well. He married exceptionally well, Jordan. He outpunted his coverage by at least 50 yards. He did. And I
See,
celebrate that.
you're always taking a little shot at him at some point. And by the way, he by far has the best reality show out of all the reality shows that WWE ever put out. Ms. and Mrs. is by far the best show that they've ever done.
Now, granted, I was and will always be a total diva stan. That provided me great hours of television for years. But Ms. and Mrs., it also provided me great hours of television as a WWE fan. Truly, it did. I miss it. We did not get a proper finale. We live in a world where the Chrysleys get to live on, but Ms. and Mrs. just does not.
Literal criminals who went to jail get to keep their TV show. But Ms. and Mrs. wholesome people, genuinely wholesome people with hilarious parents don't. Make it make sense.
The cruelty of it all. And then they burn through those episodes. Like, you must see this before they get locked up. Like, the audacity to do that, the nerve, the gall, the gumption. But here we are. As we now segue, enough NBA talk, enough side talk discussions. I want to get to one of the main topics that we've been teasing and been wondering about for some time: WrestleMania ticket sales. Now, Scott and I sometimes go Nostradamus, and that we can see into the future and we can foresee things months, sometimes years in advance. Now, for some reason, the WWE WrestleMania ticket sales are a bit sluggish for nights 1 and 2, and people want to know why. Is it because of high ticket sales, which is a high probability? Is it the fact that the booking is subpar once again heading into this year's WrestleManias? Or is it number three? Y'all decided to run the same market 2 years in a row, creating oversaturation. And I said this from day one when they made the decision not to run New Orleans and go back to Vegas. I said, are you going to get that return 2 years in a row? I think not. On top of the soft booking, on top of things being up in the air as we speak, heading into a lot of matches as we barrel towards WrestleMania, that I kind of foretold this story and how it would be written, and that these ticket sales would be soft because you're running the market 2 years in a row, thinking that people were going to come back to back, spend that kind of money, and sell out both nights. Scott, as you go through the reasoning, which reason sticks out to you? Could it be one, two, or could it be all of the above?
I'm going to go with E because I have D as John Cena's not there anymore. So that was a big cash cow from last year. And then I go with E, all the above. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Ticket sales and everything has kind of been starting to slowly dwindle because the booking has just not been since Cody won the title. The booking has not been great. If we're just being completely honest, since that point, everything has kind of been downhill. And we've talked about how the women have really carried WWE the last couple of years as far as consistency. Now, John Cena's he was the moneymaker last year. He was the ticket seller. Everywhere he went, the fans went. He's not here anymore. Roman Reigns, CM Punk is probably the biggest match they can put on, and we'll see if that changes anything here soon. But outside of that, what are they really giving us that either A, we haven't seen, or B, that's really that enticing? Like it seems like they're setting up Drew versus Cody. We've seen that 3-4 times. The match is laid out differently. Cody's on a redemption path. Yes, but we've seen that. Even if you add Jacob Fatu, you're still throwing in Cody and Drew, and you haven't really been getting behind Fatu like that to the point where people will believe him, at least until he actually wins it. Then it could be a different story. But what are you giving me that either we haven't seen or that you've been building up so far? Um, no Seth Rollins, no Braun Breaker. Like those are two guys who have been built up that for out of their hands, they ended up getting hurt. So that hurts the booking. I mean, there's not a lot of reason for people to want to go there. And then you talk about the high prices. I mean, WrestleMania ticket sales are absolutely ridiculous. When I mean that as far as the pricing of being able to go. So it's WrestleMania has always been expensive, but now it's to the point where you're pretty much paying a couple months mortgage if you want a good seat. And it's kind of crazy when you're not getting a good return. And hell, we don't even know if they're going to give you more than 5 matches. I mean, the way they've been doing PLEs all year, you only getting 4 and 3 matches. So, I mean, they probably will, but it's just, there's not a lot of intrigue. I mean, for me, my queen's not even there. She ain't even on the card yet, Bianca Belair. What star power are you giving me? You know what? There's not a lot there. And then your booking's not strong. There's a lot of factors right there. But I'm going to tell you what, the John Cena effect is starting to creep and it's starting to show its head slowly but surely.
It is. And that John Cena effect that you mentioned is so true because you don't have the retirement
Oh,
tour to
Fernando.
fall back on. Fernando has a very bold prediction, and he might be right. He might actually be correct that old Y2J is going to dust off his light 'em up jacket, his light bright jacket, come back and save WrestleMania. That is very possible because that is the one domino that is not fallen. You got to check AEW's website and see if his profile is gone to confirm that. But he might be right. He might be the one person that could possibly push tickets for WrestleMania's night 1 or 2. And we got 67 days to go. And as you said, it's like the booking has been solved for over a year now. And WWE has been coasting on John Cena and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, but that doesn't last forever. The booking has to be complementary to why should I buy tickets to your show, go back to Las Vegas, spend dollars on hotel fees, and then go to the big show 2 times over that same weekend, plus the Hall of Fame on top of that. The first mistake was running the same market twice in back to back years. I thought that was a miscalculation. It was greed. I don't care if Las Vegas paid you a grip to come back, it was a risk. And now we're going to see if you can get a Y2J or a tantalizing match to get people's attention heading into this year's WrestleMania. Because as you said, does the idea of Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, and Jacob Fatu warrant a night 1 or night 2 WrestleMania main event? No, it gives me WrestleMania opener, and that's perfectly fine. Be the best damn opener you can be, and then open the door for the women to main event night 1. People will love to see Rhea and Io go at it one-on-one to main event night 1 of WrestleMania. If we cannot get Bianca Belair back healthy, like this is the opening to do it this year, because this match, even though I love Cody and Drew and Jacob down, it ain't WrestleMania night 1 main event worthy. It simply is not. You can open the show like the ladies did for night 2 and still have a very strong match, but you're not going to be the main event because the story's not there. It's been tired and played out, especially with Cody and Drew for the last few months.
Yeah, and let's not forget Y2J came back before and tried to save WWE, and then they fed him the JBL. So saw how that turned out for us. As far as the women main eventing night 1, I don't know if, unless we're getting Bianca versus Rhea, I don't know if they got enough to main event night 1 either. Me personally, I'm all for Rhea versus Io for the title, but they have those tag titles, and it's clear that unless they lose those, they're definitely defending those tag titles in some type of match. But if we're the only match I really see from the women that's bigger than Cody Rhodes is probably Rhea versus Bianca. And if that's what we're getting, I'm a-okay with that. I 100% agree. I think that could 100% close, should close, and would be the biggest match match you could give me outside of Cody and outside of CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Rhea versus Io. I'm biased because I picked Io as my wrestler of the year, so I'm for it. I just don't know if WWE would see that as a bigger match than Cody Rhodes. Bianca versus Rhea is a different story. I just don't know if Io versus Rhea gets that same respect.
On the plus side, Triple H loves EO.
That's
And
true.
he loves Rhea too. He loves them both down. Look at WWE and Rhea. He loves those ladies to the core. So he could, if motivated to do it, he could. But the key is the story has to be there. And you have 67 days to get there to make things happen. He can absolutely reshuffle the board and take the belt off of Jade, give it to Rhea or Bianca, and then shoot them to the main event. It's got to make sense in 67 days for sure. So we shall see what they will do. But ticket sales are soft for various reasons. And as we said, all of the above is very applicable here because we said this months ago, the decision to run this show back in Vegas was a risk, especially with how the booking has been for the last year or so. And it's finally coming back to nip WWE a bit in the behind as we predicted. The bubble's going to burst. And I said it would be this year. And it's a good thing for them to wake up and realize, hey, you have to do more than just doing the bare minimum. Do more for your fans because your fans have to have a reason to buy tickets, to go to your shows, to pay, if need be, $29.99 for ESPN Unlimited to justify the price for these events. Make me care. You have 67 days to do it.
Yeah, at least you're getting 2 shows for the $29.99. But the Rhea Io thing, the story's already there. The story has been there and is already there, and that Rhea's never beaten Io 1-on-1. So that is the basic story. But I think you have to have Io go in as champion. I don't think you have Rhea win and go in as champion. If you do it, Io needs to go in as champion. And we've seen what Io can do as champion at WrestleMania. The last 2 WrestleManias, she's either been champion or come out as champion. So Io has proven herself. Rhea Ripley has proven herself as far as title matches, main events. Rhea Ripley is slowly starting to build a hell of a WrestleMania resume if we're just keeping it a buck between her and Charlotte and then the amazing triple threat last year. Arguably two of the best women's matches at WrestleMania history, and you could put them up against any men's match in WrestleMania history, and it would hold up well. So Rhea Ripley is slowly becoming Miss WrestleMania on the low.
Absolutely. As Fernando still prays for a women TLC match for the tag team titles, I'm praying for that too. I do wonder if the peak has passed since early January. I hope it hasn't. That is a possibility for this year's WrestleMania if they choose to go there. Jordan also notes Io could very well be the best wrestler in the world, male or female, argument there for sure. So we shall see how WWE pivots in the months to come. And I know that in 2027, we're going to get that for season 4 of Unreal. Just get ready to lock in on this most unpredictable, uncertain, very questionable, worrisome build to WrestleMania, and how Paul Levesque is going to be in his war room on Zoom with his inept team outside of Ryan Ward, basically trying to chartle these waters for the people.
At least this one's actually you actually could have some decent episodes with all these injuries and stuff. So at the least, this one at least has some storyline going to it until we find out that we've all been worked again.
Yes, a strong possibility. But I will tell you this, that dry erase board is going to go through it. That thing going to be going through some things, going to be erased and replaced, and got a whole bunch of maps and threads and stuff. It's going to be all over the place. We're going to see about 15 WrestleMania main event combinations that Triple H ran through via AI, and none of them worked except the ones he chose.
Better get that co-pilot working.
He's going to need it for sure. As we now dive into the highs and lows from Monday Night Raw, which went down from the Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. And we got a surprise. AJ Lee was back last night on Raw. I love the opening of her and CM Punk walking backstage together. And then Becky realizing is that AJ in front of? Oh, hell no. Like she just had like flashbacks immediately, and I had a good laugh, and that led to Becky Lynch coming out, being a little bit paranoid about everything, and then AJ Lee comes out too, and Becky was so over the top, so extra, saying, "You've ruined my life. What do you want? Leave me alone. What can I do for you?" And AJ's like, "I didn't do anything to you except beat you at WrestlePalooza, beat you at War Games. Oh, cost you your IC Women's Championship. So I've done some things to you." So basically, Becky's like, "What can I do for you to leave me alone?" And they agree. Well, by a little mental gymnastics, that AJ will challenge Becky Lynch for the IC Women's Championship at Elimination Chamber in Chicago at the United Center at the end of this month on February 28th. Match is official, and I'm looking forward to it. A little tease heading into what I presume will be another match they will have at WrestleMania in Las Vegas later on in the show, when AJ Lee came to Maxine Dupree's aid after Natalya whooped that ass for a DQ. AJ Lee posts AJ against a ring post, lays her out, gets a little physical, building into their next confrontation, presumably in Memphis next Monday on Raw.
Yeah, I am not as confident in the match. We'll see how it goes. Becky Lynch has been known to work wonders. I think she'll have to work one again. It's nothing against AJ Lee. Times are different, man. The pace and everything is a little different. So we'll see how that goes. I think we could be heading towards a triple threat. I think Natty gets in there somehow with and we get that at WrestleMania. I think that'll kind of help things as well, because it seems like they are definitely setting something up with Natty and AJ, the way AJ's coming out to defend Maxine and all that. So I think that would be the way to go for WrestleMania. You kind of freshen up Becky and AJ as well, because I think Becky retains at the Elimination Chamber, and maybe Natty comes and interferes or something. But yeah, I like all this. I like that we're making the IC title feel important. They've made the IC title feel more important than the world title, so you can take that for what it is. Again, I don't put all that on Stephanie. Some of it has to go on Stephanie because the person does make the title, but the booking has to help the person out as well. And Becky Lynch has absolutely done her job as the man making that title.
And that championship will be in a prominent spot at WrestleMania, primarily because of Becky Lynch
100%.
willing into existence, because otherwise it would be lumped into a tag team match, double champ situation, very lazily booked if they went in that direction. So I do foresee the fact that it could be AJ versus Becky versus Natty, because let's remember, in a random moment at the Women's Warrior Rumble 2 weeks ago, Natty eliminated Becky Lynch. And you have to pay off that story because it happened for a reason. It was a little odd that it happened the way that it did, but clearly it's got to lead to Natty challenging Becky for this championship, potentially in, as you mentioned, a triple threat at WrestleMania, or you make it a fatal four-way and you throw Maxine in there for good measure. I know it could water things down, but it ties into the story. At worst, you get a tag team match on a Monday Night Raw.
Now, I definitely think that's coming. I definitely think we'll probably get a tag team match, Maxine and AJ versus Natalya and Becky. And you know what? A fatal four-way wouldn't be the worst thing. Natty and Becky could absolutely kind of cover for anything. And AJ Lee's better than Maxine. So, but I do think it would water it down some. Doesn't mean Maxine can't make an appearance and ruin things for one of them. But that triple threat, especially with Natty and the aggression that she's showing, I think that could really have some juice behind it.
I think so too. So we shall see how they play it. Got a couple of months to get it done heading into WrestleMania in Las Vegas, and of course Elimination Chamber in Chicago at the end of this month as well, which is just 2 weeks away. This month is flying by very fast, we must say. As we get to the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, good to see Jimmy back on Monday Night Raw against Alpha Academy for the World Tag Team titles. I thought this match was solid. The Usos were a little off in spots in this match, but I want to call out my hero, my guy Tozawa, for putting on those boots on as he tends to do. And when he is taken seriously and is able to wrestle, his tail off, he does so. And he had the fans biting for near falls down the stretch. And I thought that Seton was it. It wasn't. And then Otis, shout out to Otis, going up. And that's a big man to be going up for the 1D to get the dub for the Usos to retain the championship. And you can see the emotion on Tozawa's face. Like he thought he was so close to winning this match. And I appreciate Tozawa from the Cruiserweight Classic days, from 10 years ago almost. This man has been in this company for 10 years and is seriously underrated as a performer. I know he's found his niche as a comedy act. I get it. But when this man locks in as a serious wrestler, he is truly special. And I thought he was the glue that held that match together tonight on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it definitely did. And that's a match I wouldn't mind seeing get run back, maybe like the Raw after Mania or something. Tozawa, we talked about it last week too. Tozawa is absolutely, he can be one of the best wrestlers in the company. He was one of the standouts in the Cruiserweight Classic. He was the guy that beat Neville for that title very first when Neville was the king of the Cruiserweights. He's had his opportunities and he's definitely made the most of them when he gets them. They, outside of the fact they tried to turn him into the modern day Funaki, this guy can really, really go. And I'm glad he got the chance to do it. I hope this isn't a one-off and, they just go back to the line and we just completely forget about them as a group. There's still a lot of mileage left in them. And I'm hoping that this year at some point they do get those tags out because it's going to be a big moment and the crowd's going to absolutely go crazy if and when it happens.
Yeah, it'd be a great babyface moment and be deserved because Otis and Tozawa are very good. They're very good if you just give them the chance to go out there and ball out. And they did so last night. And I enjoyed the match for what it was. Now, Fernando, you had to get your licks in, right? You had to go in there and say the following. Welcome back, Tito Uso Jackson.
He's not wrong, though. He not wrong. Mike already done came back. Mike was like, yeah, I'm tired. I'll get back in the group. So welcome back, Tito.
God. Yes, and Tozawa can go when he needs to. Absolutely, Jordan. So true. And he showed that tonight. Hopefully he gets to show it more often in tag team matches as a single star too, if they just give him the opportunity on Monday nights. Because listen, tag team division overall is sad. And that goes for Raw and SmackDown. It is a sad state of affairs, and they need an overhaul, an upheaval, a seance maybe to revive a very sad division for both brands. Honestly,
yeah, not a lot going on. I'm curious to see what the Usos have for WrestleMania. If it's Austin Theory and Logan Paul, or I don't even know who else you could have go after him. So not a lot really going on unless they decide to just unify those titles again.
if it's Austin Theory and Logan Paul, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I will be going out to get dinner and run back home because trust me, between commercials and that match, I can clear it. And then you can tell me about it when we do our recap live on YouTube because I ain't watching that. It better be Lucha Bros versus the Usos at WrestleMania. I will accept nothing less. Come on.
Yeah, that's what it should be. It should be brothers versus brothers. That's exactly what it should be. Whether we get that, I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind them unifying it. Usos versus the MFTs. There's some story there you could tell. But yeah, the match they should make. I'm glad you brought that up. Should be the Lucha Bros versus Usos. That is the match they should make. Penta should absolutely be like, I got a partner. And I think we should be the ones going after 100%.
Yes, absolutely. I hope it happens. Fingers crossed that it happens at WrestleMania. That's all we can do at this point. As we mentioned, the aforementioned Stephanie Vaquer, our women's world champion, and Liv Morgan and Dirty Dominic Mysterio being preemptive for Valentine's Day, got chocolates and flowers on lockdown, trying to woo his woman, which I do appreciate. The man has great timing. And then Liv is still indecisive about who she wants to challenge for her championship of choice at WrestleMania. Will it be Jade Cargill's WWE Women's World Championship, or will it be Stephanie Vaquer's championship from Monday Night Raw? Stephanie comes out, says, please pick me because I want to kick your ass. And then we have some bilingual action between Stephanie and Dirty Dom talking trash in Spanish. And then Stephanie basically says that Dom called himself a little bitch. And then from there, we have some war of words between Stephanie and Liv that results in Stephanie slapping Dirty Dom to end the segment. I did enjoy Stephanie's fire in the segment. And as I said, Liv will get something out of you in these feuds and matches heading into the big profile matches at the PLEs. I do foresee Liv versus Stephanie at WrestleMania. Is it main event worthy? I do not know, but I do know that Stephanie needs a great opponent, and Liv is definitely that for her.
Stephanie not only needs a great opponent, Stephanie needs a big win. Like, Stephanie needs a decisive win. Raquel was supposed to be it, didn't really hit like it was supposed to. Nikki Bella was supposed to be it, didn't hit like it was supposed to. She needs some. Honestly, she needs somebody that can keep up with her in the ring, that can really show what she can do, and she can really just go all out. And Liv Morgan should be that. We'll see what happens. It's definitely not a WrestleMania worthy main event. I could definitely tell you that. That's not closing night one. 100% not closing night one. I'll be honest, after the promo on Friday, I'm more inclined for Jade versus Liv. Like, that was more intriguing to me than Stephanie. We'll see what happens. And there's, we have the Elimination Chamber coming up, so we'll see what happens there. But this was fine for what it was. I still think Stephanie needs to go out in the ring and do what she does best. Like, the talking was fine, the fire was good, but what Stephanie does best and what got Stephanie over as the silent killer was her in ring, and that's what she needs to go do.
So we need Triple H not to hide her. That's what you're saying.
We need her to lose the title so people can understand why she won the title. Because that's the only way she's going to get to wrestle on TV, is if she loses the title. So
it is a curse that has stricken so many people who win this championship. They hide the champ, hide the Joshi, hide Jade. Let's hide all the champions. Hide Rhea. They do it all the time. And then when they lose the championship, they're unleashed. They get to wrestle. They get to tear it up. It's amazing how that happens. Paul Levesque, get it together, man. Book your champion strongly. If you give them the strap, you know what you got to do. Push them. Put them in great matches. Set them up for success and not failure. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy when you don't get them out there regularly to get them over, and then they get cold reactions because you don't hit the peak when you need to. You always let things that are lull, and that's disappointing to me. So hopefully they get this right heading into WrestleMania. As Jordan circles back with us, noting that some fans were thinking that Dom should turn on Liv and start dating a heel Vaquer.
That would definitely give Trish and Christian vibes when she turned on Chris Jericho. Hey, you know what? It would be funny if they started talking Spanish and they're like hitting on each other, and Liv's like, what are y'all saying? What are y'all talking about? You know what, Jordan, I might can get, and that might be exactly what Stephanie needs. I might can get behind that. That's not the worst idea.
It's not. It's something that would give Dom and Stephanie something to work with, and it will not help Dom beat the whole allegations. Just going from one mommy to another. I mean, like, he's undefeated right now. You're going to go from one lady to another. You are a hoe. Dirty Dom, you are a hoe. And that's okay. That's okay.
Fits his gimmick.
It does. And then, as Jordan says, some folks got to wrestle. That is true. Like, Stephanie's got to wrestle. That's what got her over. Like, that's what got her over on NXT. Wrestling. Not the devil's kiss. being a badass wrestler that wrestled great wrestlers. What a concept. Fernando got his lick back. It took him 20 minutes, but he got you. They couldn't hide agenda. They couldn't. They couldn't.
AJ Lee hit him. I mean, not AJ Styles hit him because they had a banger of a match over there in London.
Listen, according to WWE, one of AJ Styles' top 25 moments in WWE. That was a very wordy list. That was a very wordy list if you read it. Like, wow, a lot of stuff happened for AJ in this sequential order that was a little confusing to me. But y'all do you. I enjoyed it for what it was.
His best match was his last match as champion. So take that for what it's worth.
Hey, there you go. Hey, he went out on a high note, right? You can identify the exact moment he had his last great match in WWE 8 years ago. That's where it was. Love to see it. Love that for me because I was going through it. I was in the trenches with that man as champion. Truly. But we're here.
That man beat Shinsuke on 2 pay-per-views in a row.
Oh, God. Stunted my man's momentum for a very long time. Do not scar me any more than you already have. As we move on to our first triple threat match to get someone in the Elimination Chamber match for the women, it was Rhea Ripley versus Lyra Valkyria versus Natty. And if you think I'm saying Natty incorrectly, you are absolutely incorrect because I swear before the Lord above, if I had a Bible, I put my hand on it. I think that Natty donated her gear to Ivy Nile and said, here, you're next in line to take my mantle. And then while you're at it, I'll take your braids and make them mine and you flat iron your hair because now you're Natty 2.0. You're Natalia. You're me before I am me now. That's what I got. Because when Rhea drop kicked Ivy, I said, did she drop kick Natty? It confused me, even though I can tell the height difference at the time. I almost popped Scott because he was like, really, you went there. I did.
You're not wrong. You know, Ivy been rocking the hair for a minute though. But yeah, you're not wrong. And you know what? Maybe that's why this might have been one of Ivy Nile's best matches she's ever had too. So there's that too. Match was fine. Rhea was the right winner. Lyra was there. So shout out to Lyra. But yeah, solid match. Rhea got the win. And we'll see if this gear is what's making Ivy take it to that next level when it comes to the matches. Natalia 2.0.
Yes. It's very apparent tonight. Like I thought, I swear to God, at that when Rhea hit that drop kick on Ivy off top, I said, is that Natty? Is that Natalia? Oh, that's Ivy. Okay, got it. Fit threw me clean off. We know about the hair for a minute now. Love the hair, but the fit was given Natalia. And Natty says, listen, I'll just take your gimmick and get the braids and the shoot style outfit and call it a day. They swap personalities.
That's Nivey.
I like that. Nivey Nile.
That's Nivey Nile.
Nivey Nile Neidhart. The lost Neidhart. There we go. The last real member from the dungeon. There we go.
Yeah. That's who probably should have been in all those montages with Natalia, with Natty anyway.
Jordan got popped when you said Nivey. Nivey Nile Neidhart. The forgotten member of the dungeon family. I love that for me. I love it. As we get to CM Punk, you know, he was supposed to be interviewed with Michael Cole, right? Finn Balor is a little upset, a little miffed that he's been overlooked, saying that I want a shot at this title against CM Punk, bump this WrestleMania main event between Roman and CM Punk. It's not official till I make it so, and therefore I want to get in on this. I want a match against Punk for that championship in Chicago at Elimination Chamber. He beat me in Belfast. I want to beat him in Chicago. And Adam Pearce. Now, you know you always on this man. And you know what? I'm gonna let you have it tonight because he got on my nerves. This man talking about I can't jeopardize the WrestleMania main event. Finn, you and I talked about this. This is not the time or place to have this conversation. And then feeling like, yeah, like the Warrior Rumble thing, when you told me you didn't have no space, when you had space, you lying, bald headed fraud. But in any event, CM Punk comes out there and says, listen, Finn wants to jump, let him jump. I'm not scared of putting my main event at WrestleMania on the line to take care of business in my hometown. Make the match, Pierce. Make the match. So after much deliberation, Pierce made it official. It will be CM Punk versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship at Elimination Chamber. These Cleveland fans, now y'all know damn well, they said Elimination Chamber. It ain't in Cleveland, it's in Chicago. Y'all were not getting a World Championship match for free on this show. So, Michael Cole, noted journalist, asked CM Punk one of life's great questions. What are you doing? What are you thinking? Jeopardizing one of the greatest WrestleMania main events ever. How could you? I'm like, Michael, you dumbass. The February pay-per-view always jeopardizes the main event of WrestleMania for the most part. You take a risk, you put your title on the line, and you hope that you win. It happens every time. I've been watching this for over 25 years. It's a rite of passage. Either you make it or you don't. Title switches hands or before WrestleMania, it happens. So Punk's like, listen, I ain't scared. I'm not a punk, even though that's my name. I'm not a punk like that. So therefore, I'm going to defend my championship. I'm not scared. I'm going to win in my hometown, and WrestleMania main event is secure. Bye. I was like, good, because history tells us this has happened multiple times. The greatest WrestleMania main event is being jeopardized. Shut up, please. It's not being jeopardized. We're just milking the cow a little longer. Sit down somewhere.
Yeah, first of all, Adam Pearce is the worst. Now that Dave is gone, Adam Pearce has got that title, and I don't think anybody will ever take that from him. If I'm Finn Balor, I got to get the SmackDown. I can't deal with this guy anymore. Two Grandes got in there. Mr. Iguana got in there. La Parca got in there, but I can't get in. I can't get in the Rumble. Come on. And then Adam Pearce. I'm not gonna blame the fans. I'm gonna blame Adam Pearce. Made it seem like they might get the match tonight. Not gonna happen. And then you know what, Michael Cole. I'm gonna say this. Back when Voldemort was over there booking, he did book a tag match with the two Mania main events. So maybe he was thinking they could have did that. Last year, John Cena did win the Elimination Chamber to go after it. But you are right. We had Eddie Guerrero beat He Who Shall Not Be Named for the title right before. I think that was at No Way Out. Kurt Angle and Undertaker had a match for the title at No Way Out. That was before WrestleMania when he defended it at WrestleMania 22. So you are right. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan both defended their titles in the Elimination Chamber. I can't remember what year that was when Daniel Bryan made Santino tap out as the last one. So that's all happened before as well. So yeah, actually, I can't defend Michael Cole on that one. He should know better. Kind way too old for that. But I thought the segment was good. I thought the promo CM Punk cut was really good. He's kind of like LeBron was in Cleveland, where he just kind of turns it on during playoff time, because WrestleMania season, these last 2 weeks of promos have been some of the best promos he's cut in a while. So the fire is back, and I think this match will be really good. This is kind of why I kind of wish Finn Balor would have won in Belfast. Like you would have put a little bit more pressure on CM Punk. It would have made this match feel a little bit bigger for him to win it in his hometown on the way to WrestleMania. But he'll get a nice win. Crowd will go crazy for it. And then Roman Reigns can come out and spear him on the way after the match, I mean.
That makes sense to me. Definitely, for sure. And Michael Cole, how long has he been around? Almost 30 years. He should know better than this. He should know better. He should know better. You should know your history, Michael. You've caught a lot of great No Way Out and Elimination Chamber moments for you not to know this is how it goes sometimes. The nerve and the audacity of you. But on this night, and I love me some Scrap Daddy cheddar biscuits, I can't defend him.
Mhm.
He has to be dragged because he was dumb for what he said. And CM Punk, we have to say this too. Punk is King Midas. It's a classic saying, in that everything he touches turns to gold. And when you are around him, he will elevate you, he will make feuds seem important and make matches seem bigger. He has made his match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, presumably for that title, a big deal. He has gotten Finn Balor rejuvenated as a star that can be taken seriously, at least through this pay per view or PLE, so to speak. So, Punk, when he's on, great comparison to your GOAT, because A, I'm just kind of coasting between now and January. When January hits, it's playoff season. It's
Mhm.
time to lock in. I have 16 games to get it done, and I got about 16 weeks before WrestleMania for the match to get this done. And he has been on it. So to be able to elevate a Finn Balor to another main event at Elimination Chamber to get Roman ready for WrestleMania, going in his bag, I think it's a big deal. So Punk, his value in terms of heating people up cannot be understated.
Yeah, and I think that's why him being an older guy in the main event makes sense because he's still one of the best at what he does, and that's make things feel important. The man makes the title, just like we talked about with the women, and how we talked about the man Becky Lynch making that IC title the most important women's title on Monday Night Raw. CM Punk is doing that with the world heavyweight title. Seth Rollins did a great job when he first came in of running with it. CM Punk won it. Jey Uso had it, but now CM Punk is elevating it again to another level as we get to WrestleMania. Because honestly, if you're going to have Roman Reigns going after a title, it needs to be elevated to a certain point, and he's doing that right now.
Absolutely. And then Jordan mentions the injury prone issues with Punk. That is true, but he's in great shape. I mean, he is literally in the best shape of his life. I think that for sure. And the injuries are a concern, but what I love about Punk is he wrestles hurt. And like he makes you think like, oh, this match is so sloppy. He's like wrestles smartly like an old guy should wrestle. Like it's going to be a lot of griminess underneath wrestling. There's going to look ugly at times, but at the end of the day, he always pulls through. I think he's a great psychologically sound wrestler that knows exactly what he's doing in the ring. I don't doubt it. Some matches that I see that people deem as bad, like, no, it's not. I just think he knows his strengths. And sometimes you have to be like this grizzled old wrestler who wrestles old, but can at the same time wake it up when need be in the clutch in those closing minutes and deliver a great match.
Yeah, and I actually, to that point, I like what Finn Balor said about, you're hurt, and I know you're hurt, and I don't want Roman Reigns to take advantage of some prey that I laid down. So to that point, I like that because that does play into CM Punk being injury prone, and in his first match, he got injured and all that. So that actually does play into the storyline, does give you a little bit of, well, he hasn't wrestled since the match they had. He wasn't at the Royal Rumble, hasn't wrestled since. So there is a little bit to that. That's actually a really good point and plays into the promo that Finn Balor cut and into just the whole run that CM Punk has had.
Yeah, and the feeling that he's not 100% heading into that match is going to
Right.
tell another great story. What he's going to be selling, what's injured? Is it a knee, a back, a shoulder injury? It's all good stuff. And I love that and how Finn kind of laid that out for their match heading into Elimination Chamber at the end of this month. At the end of this month. Now, before we get to the main event of Monday Night Raw, I have to call out two things. Number one, so we had a tag team match involving the Los Americanos, Rio and Bravo, versus Javon Evans. And out of nowhere, Scott, out of nowhere, babyface original El Grande Americano.
Babyface
Without
here.
babyface on this night, at least, just a babyface out of nowhere, as he and Javon have broken bread and they just are buddies now. they're besties for whatever reason. And the match is perfectly fine for what it was. Don't get me wrong. I love Chad Gable. I want Chad Gable to be Chad Gable. Enough of this. But we have to call out the most spectacular spot of the night, possibly of the year, possibly one of the greatest counters I've ever seen in my life as a wrestling fan. And I've seen a lot. So one of the Americanos goes up top, and Javon goes up top too. And this can go horribly wrong in midair. This is not grounded position. This is midair, two guys in flight at the same time. You have to time this perfectly. Javon Evans caught that Bravo man or whoever it was and hit a cutter in midair. Spectacular.
Yeah, it was it's one of the best cutters they've ever had on Monday Night Raw. It's I mean, the only other person you can compare it with is Orton. You think about the Seth Rollins one at WrestleMania. You think about him catching Evan Bourne in the Shooting Star Press. You think about him catching Carlito off the double moonsault at I think it was Unforgiven versus when they had their singles match. Yeah, it might be. That's a tough match. That reminded me of Logan Paul and Ricochet when they did their springboard spot and they collided in the middle. But this one has to be timed perfectly. Like, and you're right. It's definitely in the conversation. And it's definitely going to be in the highlight reel going forward. And I will say this about El Grande, Chad's version. He's a babyface here, but when he goes to AAA,
Foreign menace he will be, because the other El Grande is going to be so over. This man has learned legit Spanish. Legit Spanish.
Don't nobody care about Chad no more over there in AAA, okay? He is not welcome. They told that man to go home. Okay, go home. So whatever they got planned, you don't even do it at WrestleMania. That needs to happen in AAA.
Yes, at a Worlds Collide that I will watch on YouTube on a Saturday or Friday night. I'll be locked in. That cannot happen at a WrestleMania. This needs to happen in Mexico, where I can just enjoy it for all of its beautiful glory, because somebody's losing their hair or a mask for sure. I would love that. Jordan, just go on the WWE Twitter page, find the clip. It is spectacular. It is one of the greatest things you will see all year. And Scott described the level of difficulty when you think about Randy Orton. Randy did not fly in the air to catch someone. He caught someone in midair in a grounded position. Javon had to catch that flying Americano in midair as he was also in mid-flight. That could have went horribly wrong. That could have been a botch. But he hit it perfectly. I cannot explain how amazing that was to watch live, and the airtime he got, because we have to remember, you are in the air doing that, waiting for the other person to meet you halfway.
Yeah, it could have ended up like his one against Randy Orton on the second edition of NXT, where he went for the OG cut, except he tried to spin 6 times instead of just going straight back. So we've seen it go wrong, but you know, when it goes right, it's one of the most beautiful things you're gonna see.
Yes, and as you said, Jordan, shout out to Kaiser. This man went to Duolingo and he learned Spanish fluently. Learn the language with respect to the culture. And I love Kaiser. I want Kaiser to be Kaiser again, but that man, his dedication to detail and respect to what he's representing, that's big. And that takes away a lot of the what could be very xenophobic from WWE, which is borderline with from the Gulf of Mexico. It's borderline on that edge, but he makes it respectful by honoring the culture, repping the colors, repping the language. I will respect Kaiser forever for that because he ain't got to do it. He can half-ass it, but he doesn't. He goes all the way, and that's why the AAA fans love him because he's dedicated to the gimmick through and through. That man is an honorary Mexican.
Yeah, he honestly he should probably there's a good chance he might be the one to dethrone Dominic. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, he's definitely earned all the praise and accolades he's gotten over there because he's done his work and he's put his work in to get where he's at. That man took a gimmick that was handed to him out of necessity and made it his own to the point where they don't even want the original back. That says something.
That's a lot, actually. Like, we don't want the original here. That's like Wendy's that when they had the yellow wrapping, we don't want that. We don't want that back.
Right.
We don't
Right.
want your barbecue sauce and your classic chicken and your Frosties. F that. We want this guy here. That's true Grande Americano 2.0. I love that for him. So we'll see where it goes as the Americanos continue to feud on Monday Night Raw as we get to our main event involving LA Knight and Austin Theory. And who else was in this match? Penta? Was it Penta?
Yep. Penta.
Triple threat match to determine who's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. Serviceable, perfectly fine main event. Austin Theory just exists. He just exists, you know. And it's sad. It's sad. He's bald-headed with no charisma. And I know that deep down he has charisma, but they won't let him show it. It's a shame, actually. Penta looked good as always. LA Knight is obviously the most over guy in the match. And then we have the hooded figure come out once again to curb stomp Austin, Justin Timberlake Theory. And then he runs away with lightning speed. And that ain't Seth Rollins because I love Seth. He ain't that fast. Let's see. That man was running like the Flash. He ain't that fast. So LA Knight ended up winning this match, hit the blunt force trauma on Austin Theory, got the W. He's going to Elimination Chamber. Good for him. That's all I got from this match because Austin Theory is just a guy.
Well, all I know is that LA Knight better enjoy this main event win because it'll be the last one he gets for a long time. But you know, the match was there. It's cool. LA Knight, he's in his Ziggler phase right now because they not really getting behind him seriously. He'll probably be the first one eliminated in the chamber.
Not the Ziggler phase. But that's life. Like Frank Sinatra would say, that's life. That's your role.
That's it.
You're going through the Ziggler phase of your career. You know, good hand, eliminated first or last for drama, for dramatics. You know, they love to give you that too.
That's true.
They love to have you hanging on thinking, oh my God, could it be? No, it won't be. He won't win.
No.
Please, let's be realistic here. But main event, it was for what it was as we go off the air, as we wonder who is the hooded man doing all of these things. And Jordan pops. He is. Yes, he is. He is in a Ziggler phase, you know, and I love me some Dolph Ziggler, but I too, at some point in my fandom, gave up on that man. I said, you know what? I must wash my hands of this. I give up. And I loved me some Ziggs. I did.
They would always let him be this close to winning. They did it with Finn Balor for a little bit. Then they're like, yeah, but you know what? We like Finn Balor. We'll give him an IC title win. We'll let the demon have some fun. But Ziggler, we'll let you win when Sting shows up. We'll let you have this great moment. We'll do that for you. But that's going to be about it. Enjoy it.
Because it'll never happen again. We'll give you the Miz at No Mercy, and you have a great match.
Great match.
It was great. Listen, I would give your man credit. One of the greatest Miz matches of all time. And shout out, as we transition to SmackDown, shout out to the Miz. Let's show some love to that man. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, okay? He had a match against Carmelo Hayes. And they said, listen, what you're not going to get is a championship match. What you're going to get is a blow-off match in one night because we ain't going through all of this for y'all. We know better. But what I will say is that I saw one of the greatest counters to a skull crushing finale when Mello rode through that man's finisher and hit the first 48 for the dub. Beautiful. Beautiful.
But listen, before that, let's not ignore the counter to the first 48 into the
Yes.
skull crushing finale,
Yes.
into the counter, into the
Yes.
first. Listen, people can say what they want, man. The Miz being hit these last couple years, the Miz has been in his bag. Okay, he's been in his bag. The man has he don't do a lot, but when he does something, it's a big deal. That man showed out. Okay, he still showed he got some worth. He's earning his keep. Really fun match. Shout out to my boy Mike.
Mike gets his flowers. He showed up. He did. He did. We got Lucha Miz in the last year or so. We got this guy here showing up. And one of my serious concerns is that he's building this old timer legacy of I'm over 40.
Yo,
I'm towards the end of the road. And these freaking fans are going to appreciate him and like, oh man, Miz a legend. We got to show him love. We can't boo him. I know exactly what the play is. Oh God.
listen, he's going to be a pretty big baby face when they turn him back.
Oh,
Because it's going to happen, whether organically or whether the company does it. You see what happens when they put him against most brothers.
oh
Okay,
God.
you saw what happens with Javon. You saw that. Carmelo is luckily they've had a few. And the Miz is a big part of that. The
Mm-hmm.
Miz is going to be over as a baby. He was over as a baby face with R-Truth. Got a brother a win at WrestleMania. Say what you want about Mike, man. That dude gets a reaction and people care about him at this point. He's been around so long and people want Miz and Mrs. back. So shout out to Mike.
22 years he's been here. 22 years.
A long
It's a
time.
long time, a long time. He's clocked in many hours for sure, and that is my fear. It's Scott's greatest dream come true. It is my nightmare to know this man is going to get over because of his legendary status in the fans' eyes. I'm horrified by that. But Scott's about to do a victory lap, and it is going to bother me greatly, but I will endure and I will survive. And I have my jokes lined up because that's all I have to live on at this point. As we now get to a polarizing promo from the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Now, he said a thing on SmackDown, okay? He said a thing. And in the moment, I was caught off guard. I was taken aback. I was shocked. And then I went online, as I tend to do, and I read the feedback, and some of it was fairly mixed. But I want to get Scott's thoughts on the moment that Cody Rhodes went on SmackDown and he mentioned the phallic measuring contest between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And he said that if we're having that kind of contest, they don't call me Raheem for nothing, as in my middle name, given to me by the Black community. And when I tell you that everyone in that arena, white, Black, Latin, Asian, whatever your color was in that audience, they immediately understood the reference. I was stunned. I was aghast to think that they knew Raheem. And then Brandy says, it's true. Like, I don't need to know that information from your bedroom. I don't need to know that. And then the fact this was said during, at the time, the 6th day of Black History Month. Scott, your thoughts on Cody's segment on SmackDown?
On the 6th day of the second month of the 22nd year of the 2000s, Cody Rhodes.
Of our Lord, by the way, of our Lord.
Of our Lord, Cody Luther Rhodes decided to remind everyone that he is an honorary brother invited to the cookout. Listen, that man is married to a Black woman and has gotten very comfortable. Okay, very comfortable with brothers and sisters. So I'm not surprised he said it. Listen, me being a biracial guy raised by his black family, that's the same kind of looks I get when I say crazy stuff like that too. I don't call myself Raheem. Let's not get it twisted. Don't go that far. But 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 when I say make jokes like that, people give me the same looks. Like, what are you? Who are you to be saying that? So I get it. But Cody is very comfortable at this point, at this stage in his life. Okay, he has a biracial child. Okay, very comfortable as he should be. All right. There was no disrespect meant to anybody except Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Okay, as it should be. I had no problem with it. I loved it. I hope he picked a great time to do it. The next time he should do it is on Juneteenth. Okay,
Oh,
that should be the
God.
next time we get another reference like that. Okay, but as of right now, I I'm here for it. And if you if you didn't like it, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But you can't say that he's not justified in saying it. This man is has been mingling and with black folks for the last, how long him and Brandy been together? A decade now?
A decade plus.
Come on.
Decade plus.
That man is extremely comfortable saying stuff like this. And if he's saying stuff like this on a live mic in the middle of SmackDown, just imagine what he's saying at home. Okay? Let that man live.
You know, I'm going to respect people that say it was absolutely out of place to say that, especially on day 6 of
It's
Black History
fine.
Month. That is a valid point. I am honestly a little bit torn about it because I did laugh and then I realized, oh, this might not play well with a lot of people because people have their rightful criticism of they were never a
They
fan of
do.
the Cody Luther King jokes and the Marsha Washington memes and the memes that were created from that. I absolutely understand that. But it went unchecked for a very long time and it was enabled by a lot of us. It was one of the greatest jokes that is going to commemorate its 5th anniversary this year is that Cody Rhodes solved racism. That is one of the greatest running gags in professional wrestling history. I'm never not going to not say that he solved racism. Like we are 5 years removed from racism being over. I'm being facetious, y'all. But in that day and
Right.
time, Cody thought he solved it. And we ain't going to ever let him, we are never going to let him have it. Never not let him have it, I should say, on that. But I understand the criticism. I do. I truly do. And I think that some think pieces are absolutely valid. And then some I notice because some people don't like Cody at all. And they take it as an opportunity to bury him and say, oh, this, that, oh, this is why I don't like him. He sucks as a promo. He sucks as a champion. That's why he's overrated. So you get those people coming out because I think it's feasting day because he says something like that. I totally get both sides of the argument. If you loved it, good for you. If you hated it, if you have reasons that are justifiable, that have reasoning that I can totally jive with, I cannot discredit you. I cannot discount your feelings at all. But I do side eye people that take the opportunity to take a shot at Cody because you already don't like him. You already have your built-in resentment and animosity towards that man, and you're gonna find a way to get your digs in, and this is your opportunity to do so. I get that too. I just want Cody to be very mindful that even though you're comfortable, don't get too comfortable because at the end of the day, you ain't us. At the end of the day, you will never be us and you will never have that experience as we do. And you can honor and respect our experiences and our hardships and our struggles and our successes and triumphs, but you will never be us. You will never walk in these shoes that we had to walk in for hundreds of years that precedes us. So that's why I kind of stand on that at the end of the day, too.
Yeah, I do think it is important to remember that he does lack the melanation at the end of the day. Just even though I'm biracial. Even I lack the melanation at the end of the day. So it is very important to be mindful of what you say. But I will say this about the whole thing. If there is one person who would have checked him if he was out of pocket, it would have been Brandy.
Absolutely.
Let's not forget. Let's not forget how what happened when they first met. And Cody was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yo, I don't see color." Well, then you don't see me. Okay? So if there was one person who absolutely will would have and will check him when he does go out of pocket, it will be his wife. She will be the first person to probably text him as soon as he gets to the back, like, who told you it was open mic night tonight? Because you were out of pocket. All right. So I will just say that I think Brandy understands there's time and place and certain things. So that's partly when I saw her reaction. That's partly and also made it a little bit more okay for me because I'm like, if she's not checking him, I think it's okay because I 100% believe she would be the first one to check him out of anybody.
100%. Like when she said what she said, and that man got humble and said, "Listen, my wife told me you better see color. You better." And I was like, "You know
Right.
what, Brandy, you're a real one." And if she went out there and said that
A
joke, and
real
listen,
one.
and when she said that joke, listen, like I said, I know too much now. I know too much because first of all, I'm already looking at his cakes on Friday. Okay, them cakes were caked up. They were up, sitting, and I'm trying not to imagine anything else. And then Brandy gonna say that.
What you gonna put a cup on them? You said they up sitting. You about to put a drink on them and sit it there.
A
That's
cup, listen, a red solo cup, something is gonna be sitting. Cakes are sitting. Listen, Brandy did
oh
not help me
god.
on Friday. She didn't help me at all.
That's
Like,
true.
girl, you didn't have to confirm Raheem was hanging. I need to know that. But she told me. And now I feel as if I'm intruding in their bedroom and I feel a little scarred, but I'm gonna be all right.
All
I'm
she
gonna
had
be
to do was
okay.
just put like a laughing emoji. She didn't have to confirm or deny anything. She could have just put a laughing emoji and called it a day. But she was like, you know what? Just in case you were wondering, I'm the one who called him that.
Oh God, I don't need to know these things, but now I know these things. But listen, as I always say with several people, Brandy, you are blessed and highly favored in all areas of your life. And be thankful for the many blessings that have come to you in your marriage. Blessings, abundance of blessings. The anointment apparently has been showered upon you. Bless you, sister. And Jordan, I also listen. I love most wrestling couples. I stand my CM Punks and my AJs, my Jimmys and Naomi's, my Seth and Becky's, my Biancas and Montez's. I love my couples, Brie and Brian Danielson. I love my couples. I love my faves. I do. And when we get like little insights to their lives, I enjoy it. And I do love they show us pockets of that on TV, on the socials, and we got a lot on Friday Night SmackDown for sure. And if you loved it, good for you. If you hated it, justifiably so. I understand it, but I'm 50-50 on it. I am. But as Scott said, if Brandy had a real issue, she would clock her man immediately. Truly, truly. Oh,
Mhm.
I do love me some Renee and Mox too. I do. I love them too. Like too many couples to run through in this setting, but I love them. I love them. I love them. So shout out to all the couples that make us want to believe in love as we enter into this Valentine's Day weekend. We truly do. As we quickly discuss who qualified for the Elimination Chamber matches on SmackDown this past Friday, Tiffany Stratton for the ladies, Randy Orton for the men. I will say that the ladies' match in particular, fans wanted Chelsea to win. I heard the pops she was getting, and I heard the boos that Tiffany got when she beat Chelsea. Like Chelsea is gonna mess around and get that big belt this year. And I would love that for her because Michael Hayes deserves it. Eat shit, bitch.
Michael Hayes. Yeah, she should be a favorite to win Money in the Bank. I think that's if you don't want to make her a serious threat, then just have her win Money in the Bank, have a nice short win, get the nice moment, and hopefully Michael Hayes is the booker of the match and has to book her to win the title because that would be fantastic. Tiffany Stratton, she's gonna be going through it until she turns back heel. I think she's got an uphill battle on her hands. Randy Orton was the right winner in the men's. Shout out to Solo Sikoa. I think he's one of the most underappreciated in-ring guys in WWE. I I'm a big fan of Solo. I think he's come a long way, and I think he's pretty good in the ring. Like, I don't really remember a bad Solo match, and I think he always comes through when he needs to in ring. So enjoyed all of this. Um, Randy Orton is one of the most intriguing things going into WrestleMania season. Like, him versus Drew almost intrigues me a little bit more than Cody versus Drew at this point, to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens, but the right winners, and yeah, Chelsea to me should absolutely be a Money in the Bank contender, top 2 or 3 to win that.
Gotta be, gotta be. Solo is very funny. Yes, Jordan. When he was doing Randy's poses constantly during that match, I laughed. Like, Solo is so charismatic and so good in his role. He doesn't need his MFTs. He just needs Solo, damn it. Get him over as a single star, as a babyface. He'll be a star. But yeah, Randy definitely deserved to get in that match for sure. Tiffany, as you said, is going to be a struggle bus. As a babyface, without the championship, can she maintain her heat and popularity? We shall see, especially when Chelsea is nipping on those heels a bit. Even though she's a heel, fans love her. And she would be a great candidate to win Money in the Bank this year for sure. And I do want to offer an honorable mention to the Women's Tag Team Championship match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the United States Women's Champion, Julia, and Kiana James. I really enjoyed that match. Might have been Julia's best outing on SmackDown since she got there. And look what happens when you're around great workers. Wonders happen. I love to see that. And shout out to Kiana James. She is gaining more confidence in the ring post ACL. And she's reminding people, oh, when I was at NXT, I was already good. I'm showing you now how great I can be with more reps. That was the best I've seen them together as a team. I still think my hangup is the chemistry with them as a true tag team. And the gimmick of Kiana James is a recycled old gimmick from 2.0 that lingered to the new era a couple of years ago. Kill it. Kill it and let the real Kiana shine.
Well, I just appreciate them giving her a chance in Black History Month. So
Yes.
hopefully it continues past Black History Month. We'll see if that's the case. But yeah, she's definitely taking advantage of her opportunities. Royal Rumble was a good showing. This is another good showing. And, you know, Julia and Stephanie, both top tier talents on NXT, and now just, you know, not floundering, but just kind of there on the main roster. So hopefully they'll be on their way. I think Julia is on the right path. I think she's had some better weeks, but yeah, this was a good tag match, and Rhea and Io is the best tag team in WWE right now.
Absolutely. And they will have another match, I believe, against Lash Legend and Nia Jax this Friday on SmackDown. Let's see what miracles they can perform with Nia. Lash, I think she'll be fine because, you know, she will give it to Io and Io will sell her butt off. And I know that Rhea and Lash are going to create moments as the horses in that match. I'm looking forward to as well. As we have elimination matches continuing for Elimination Chamber going down this Friday and Monday on Raw. Remember, SmackDown will be airing live on Sci-Fi for the next couple of weeks due to the Winter Olympics on USA. So be on the lookout for the channel switch in your area, wherever you live in the United States. And before we go, I have not asked Scott this question in quite some time, but I must, out of responsibility, out of curiosity, his match of the week. And we're talking Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Shout out to the new champion, Joe Hendry. That's all we got to say. New champion. Scott called it. Congrats to him. Really good ladder match. Crazy bumps, I got to say. They all delivered, but congrats to Joe Hendry. But your match of the week.
Honestly, it might be that ladder match. I really enjoyed that ladder match. It's always the matches I don't expect from NXT that seem to really deliver. if you'd asked me last week, it would have been that the women's triple threat at the end. But yeah, I think that ladder match was a lot of fun. I thought it was really well laid out. Might have been the best Keanu Carter's looked so far. And I haven't really been impressed with him, but I thought that might have been his best outing. Everyone had a chance to shine, plenty of big bumps, plenty of action, a lot of intrigue, a lot of suspense. Technically, it may not have been the best match, but that was probably my favorite match of the last week just because you really didn't know who was going to win.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. Not gonna lie, I was pleasantly surprised. Had a lot of green guys in there, but they held their
Mhm.
own, and we have some vets in there that definitely provided the rhythm and the beat for that match to keep it afloat. Thankfully, Angel Hendry won. The highlight for me was Booker T singing that man's theme song. Um, incredible, incredible performance in more ways than one. I love Booker in these moments. I do, just getting silly things over like that.
Yeah, him being a Joe Hendry fan was not in my playbook for this year,
Ever,
but yeah, yeah,
ever,
but I'll
ever.
take it though. I'll take him singing it. It's fine for what it is. I'm glad Carter didn't win it. I just don't think he's ready yet. Jackson Drake is still my guy. I really really like him. I think he is a guy that you can build the NXT brand around as far as a young up and comer that you want to develop and really show off. I really really like him. So I'm hoping. Honestly, I think Joe was just there to hold it until Stan and deliver to give it to the next heel to kind of take it. And I really hope it's Jackson Drake.
Yeah, Jordan. Lots to catch up on. Ciampa versus AJ. Good at the Rumble. Ciampa's been killing it on AEW. Collision, especially as a new TNT champion, made the right switch for himself to just go out there, put in work as a psycho killer. Great work. Dynamite's been really good lately too. Ratings are going up. They fixed the rating situation, so wrestling is not dead in terms of the viewership and the demos. We're recovering. I did laugh at Mike Gilbert saying, I think it might have been Ebo from Twitter that said that because of the rating switch up, TNA bought themselves a lot of time from being canceled because those first couple of weeks, I'll tell you something, these last couple of weeks, yeah, that contract is being a little bit more justified for sure.
Yeah, they're not the Walking Dead of the wrestling community anymore. At least
Yeah.
now they got a little bit of life to them.
Yes, as do all the shows. Dynamite, Collision, SmackDown, Impact, they're all recovering with this new revamped panel to count more people. They might still be a bit older, but they're trying to count younger people too. So listen, we know these rates in terms of this money is going to go a certain direction in a couple of years. And you want to make sure it goes up if these numbers are where they need to be for the shows. So match of the week, I will also go with the ladder match from NXT. It surprised me in a good way. Shout out to the triple threat match involving Thea and Izzy and Lola. I
That
enjoyed
was
that
really
as
good
well.
too. Yeah.
It was really, really good. I love Lola Vice. I just want to say that she's improved so much. She's so good. And I know she's getting called up soon enough, but I just really enjoy her work. And I know that Scott is not sold yet, but he will be on the KJ train before the end of 2026. He will be on the Kalani Jordan train by the end of this year.
Nah, I that's gonna be a really tough pill. Because you know what, she was fine when she came out and interfered in the match, and then she just had to cut a promo afterwards. And boy, then I remembered why I'm not a fan.
Listen, we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. We're going to workshop on her promos. She's going to get it together. I have faith. I believe. I need Mello to take her to like promo workshop class and just kind of work through her material.
She needs a Kiana James on her to talk for her. That's what she needs. Julia don't need nobody. She needs a Kiana James to talk for her. Okay.
Alrighty. Well, listen, I have like what, 10 months to go. I will sell you
You got
yet.
10 months.
I got 10 months. Alrighty. And thank you, Jordan. We appreciate you. We love your commentary and your insight. And we love giving good match recommendations because there were some good matches this week across wrestling. Check them out when you got time. And then we'll be back next Tuesday. Well, not Tuesday, because it is Tuesday now, but we'll be back late Monday night around 11:15 p.m. Eastern, talking about Monday Night Raw going down from Memphis, Tennessee, as we'll be about a week away from Elimination Chamber. Can I say, gosh darn it, this month is going by so fast. It's flying by really fast after the longest January of our lives.
Yeah, it's already Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Fernando. We appreciate y'all checking in. And yeah, quick month. I'm glad the Elimination Chamber should be a lot of fun.
Should be for sure. We'll talk about it for next week. Talk about the Elimination Chamber matches on SmackDown regarding qualifying. Talk about that again here on Monday Night Raw for our live stream next Monday on the 5th or the 16th, I should say, at around 11:15 p.m. Eastern time. So until then, I want to thank my co-captain, Tardy Scott Young, for joining me as always.
Thank you, Keila. As always, it's a pleasure to chop it up and talk all things WWE. I look forward to next week, and especially SmackDown, actually. That triple threat, I think, is going to be incredible between Fatu, Cody, and Sammy. Should be a great match.
That's going to be probably one of the best TV matches of this year. And what they need to do for me is go commercial free the last hour. Don't play with me with insert commercial breaks and give me a full last half hour free just of that match. Fingers crossed on that. But until then, that's this week so far in WWE. Enjoy NXT if you're watching tonight. Enjoy SmackDown on Friday on Sci-Fi. We'll be back next Monday to recap what went down on Raw on Netflix from Memphis, Tennessee. So for myself and for Salty Scott Young, for the chat, thank you, Fernando and Jordan, for joining us as always to chop it up in the chat. We love you guys. So until then, for myself and Tardy Scott Young, that is a wrap for all things WWE. Take care and bye-bye.